Chapter 51. You must be kidding me, that factory can give employees 2 days off a week. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Thank you, Mr. Chen. Everyone stared at Mr. Chen in front of the hall, and shouted in unison and loudly. No need to thank me, this break is what you deserve. Chen Mo waved his hand a little embarrassedly. He didn't think about asking these employees to thank him. He just wanted them to work less hours and make his factory lose as much money as possible. In addition, everyone worked overtime yesterday. Go home and rest after the meeting. Don't worry, today's rest is considered a public holiday, and no one will be deducted. Come back to work tomorrow after you get well. Oh, by the way, today is Friday, and tomorrow and the day after tomorrow are Saturday and Sunday. You rest, so you can go to work the day after tomorrow. Okay, let's adjourn. Another round of warm applause rang out. Looking at the way everyone was clapping, their palms must have been numb. Are you taking a break now? It seems so, and it's 3 days in a row. Let me pinch you, are you dreaming? Oh my God, be gentle, it hurts, pinch yourself. Does it hurt? It seems that I'm not dreaming. When Chen Mo returned to the office, the people in the hall were still not moving, and everyone's face was confused, but it didn't take long before they fell into chaos. People kept confirming with each other whether the news they just heard was true. Shen Rou, tell those who are working from home about the system that has been changed today later. Back in the office, Chen Mo leaned back in his chair and said to Shen Rou who followed him. Okay, Mr. Chen. Shen Rou nodded in response, but did not leave directly, but looked at Chen Mo with burning eyes. Mr. Chen, who is not much older than her, is really kind. This is the first time she has seen a boss who treats employees so well. 2 days off a week, normal rest on statutory holidays, 5 insurances and 1 housing fund, various benefits, and if he finds that employees are working too hard overtime, he will give them a paid day off directly. All these systems together, even those big companies can't do this. What's wrong? Chen Mo found that Shen Rou had been staring at him, and subconsciously wiped his face. Is there something dirty? Oh, nothing. Shen Rou's face flashed a blush, and then she turned around and left in a hurry. Returning to her workstation, Jiangqing had just changed his clothes and was walking on the road to the industrial park. Mr. Chen gave them a holiday today, and they will have a day off tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, so he plans to go home and take a look. He hasn't been home for more than 3 months. In fact, his home is in a small town on the edge of Jiangqing. If he takes a car, he can get home in more than 3 hours, but according to the previous system of the factory, if he wants to go home, at least he can't get the full attendance bonus. If he stays for 1 or 2 days, then there will be no money left this month. In order to make more money, he has never rested, but all this began to change after Mr. Chen took over the company. He didn't expect that he would have a job with 5 insurances and 1 fund when he was almost 40 years old, and his salary had also increased a lot. Today, the rest system was changed. They would have at least 2 days of rest every week, and it was paid rest, and there would be no deduction of full attendance bonus. In this way, he could go home once a week, but he didn't plan to run every week. He heard recently that after the company's employee cafeteria was built, a few cleaners would be hired to clean up. The salary could be as high as 4,000, and insurance would also be paid. He planned to let his wife do the cleaning, so that the 2 of them would not have to separate and run back and forth. In this way, both of them would have insurance, and they would not have to cause trouble to the children in the future. In addition, the employee dormitory was being renovated, and the rooms designed inside were all double rooms, just right for him and his wife to live together. Jiangqing couldn't help laughing as he thought about it, as if he had imagined the scene of the 2 of them working and living together in the future. Old Jiang, you are dressed so nicely. Have you taken a break today? That just a short distance away, Jiangqing saw someone calling him. He looked up and found that it was his former colleague. He also worked in a factory in this industrial park. He resigned and came to this garment factory because his boss withheld his salary. Well, I haven't been home for a long time. I went back to take a look. The sun is rising from the west. You never ask for leave. Lu Zhenguo looked Jiangqing up and down and joked. In the previous factory, the other party only asked for leave once every 6 months. I didn't ask for leave. The boss gave it to me. Jiang Qing replied with a smile. Oh, I haven't seen you for a while. You can still joke. It's really the boss who gave me leave, and it's 3 days. Jiang Qing stretched out 3 fingers and gestured a few times, with a smile on his face that he couldn't hide. Could it be that the company's performance is not good, so they give you a few days off without pay? It's better not to give you such a leave. Your boss is too fucked up. Seeing Jiang Qing's serious look, Lu Xinghua knew that the other party should not be joking with him, but after thinking about it, he had a guess. Your boss is a fucked up boss, our boss is fine. When Jiang Qing heard Lu Xinghua talking about his boss, he immediately quit. These 3 days of rest are all paid rest, and there will be 2 days off every week in the future, all paid. Jiang Qing looked up with a proud expression. Is it true? Lu Xinghua looked at Jiang Qing's appearance and knew his temperament very well. He would never lie. Of course it's true. If you don't believe it, go to our garment factory and ask other employees. Jiang Qing pointed in the direction of the garment factory. Old Lu, the boss is coming soon, we have to go back to work. Lu Xinghua wanted to say something, but a colleague in the distance called him loudly. Here we are. Lu Xinghua responded, and then looked at Jiang Qing. I'm going to work first, and I'll have a drink with you when I have time. Okay, then you go and get busy. Jiang Qing watched Lu Xinghua leave and sighed. If it weren't for Mr. Chen, he would be like this too. Old Lu, who have you been talking to for so long? A former colleague, I heard his current factory is pretty good. High salary. I didn't ask about the salary, but that factory now has 2 days off a week, and it's paid time off. You must be kidding me, I've been to more than 10 factories, if not 20, but I've never heard of any factory having 2 days off a week. Your colleague must be teasing you. Lu Xinghua remained silent. With his understanding of Jiang Qing, he wouldn't make such a joke, but based on his understanding of the factory, his colleague's words were not wrong. I've never heard of that factory having a 2-day off system. Chapter 52 I really want to go to work. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Rou, wake up, it's almost 7 o'clock. If you don't get up, you'll be late for work. Zhang Lan got up and found that Shen Rou, who used to get up early to go to work, didn't get up today. Worried that Shen Rou would be late for work, she hurried to Shen Rou's bedside to wake her up. Well, Xiao Lan, you're up. Shen Rou opened her eyes dazedly, looking at Zhang Lan beside the bed and murmured. It doesn't matter whether I get up or not. Look at what time it is now. If you don't get up, you'll be late. Zhang Lan forcibly pulled Shen Rou out of bed, turned on the phone and put it in front of Shen Rou. 7 o'clock, Shen Rou looked at the time on the phone and said. You still know it's 7 o'clock. Don't you know you're going to be late? Oh, I'm resting today and don't have to go to work. Shen Rou suddenly realized that she had worked overtime last night because of her part-time job, so when she came back, Zhang Lan had fallen asleep and didn't know she was on vacation. Rest, are you feeling unwell? Do you want to go to the hospital? Zhang Lan was shocked when she heard this, and quickly reached out to touch Shen Rou's forehead. In her impression, Shen Rou is a workaholic. If she is not feeling unwell, she will not rest at all. It's not hot. No, the company gave me a day off, I'm not feeling unwell. Shen Rou removed Zhang Lan's hand from her forehead, feeling touched and amused. Oh, your boss is so kind and gave you a day off. No, the whole company is on holiday. Don't say your boss is really good, I heard it's hard for the factory to take a day off. Zhang Lan couldn't help but praise him. Through Shen Rou, she knew Chen Mo a little bit, whether it was a salary increase, today's holiday, or advance expenses and various benefits. All of them showed that Chen Mo was a very conscientious boss. Mr. Chen has always been very good. Shen Rou nodded and said as a matter of course. Yo-yo, you're starting to defend me now. Tell me what happened to you guys after working for so long. Are you looking for death? Shen Rou's pretty face turned red, and she couldn't help but pat Zhang Lan. You're blushing. Zhang Lan looked at Shen Rou's blushing face, and the fire of gossip burned. Finally, she pressed Shen Rou on the bed and began to interrogate her. Shen Rou resisted. The two of them wrestled on the bed. After a while, they lay on the bed in dishevel. Zhang Lan tilted her head and looked at Shen Rou breathlessly, smiling. Shen Rou, have you noticed that you have become much more cheerful since you entered that company? You wouldn't play with me like this before. Really? Shen Rou thought about it and seemed to have changed, probably because her salary increased, and the psychological pressure was reduced. After all, she used to work 3 jobs a day for the orphanage, and she only had 2 or 3 hours of rest a day. How could she sleep in like today? However, all of this was brought to her by Chen Mo. Of course, you have a rare day off today. Why don't we go shopping? Zhang Lan sat up from the bed with an excited look on her face. You're not going to work. I only have 1 day off, but I can take a day off on Saturday and Sunday. Then I'll choose to take a day off today and not take a day off tomorrow. Shen Rou thought about it and finally nodded. Then go ahead. I'm going to visit the orphanage tomorrow. I can buy some gifts for Grandma Wu and those children. This time, she transferred 10,000 yuan to Grandma Wu, and finally she transferred 5,000 yuan back. No matter how she persuaded, she only wanted 5,000 yuan. In this case, she could take advantage of the holiday to buy some gifts for the children in the orphanage. You're taking a day off tomorrow too? Zhang Lan looked at Shen Rou in confusion. Yes, Mr. Chen changed the company's system yesterday. From now on, the company will have 2 days off on Saturdays and Sundays. Zhang Lan opened her mouth in shock. 2 days off, even if she was working now, she still had 1 day off. Has a workshop factory already implemented a 2-day off system? Is your CEO Chen the reincarnation of a bodhisattva? How can he be so nice? CEO Chen has always been very nice to his employees. Shen Rou said with a smile, with a proud look on her face. Why don't you ask your boss out for dinner today? I'm really curious about your boss. No, CEO Chen has a lot of things to do every day, so he should be very busy. Shen Rou hesitated a little, but she knew that the bosses of companies were very busy and had no time to go out and play. Why don't you call and ask? Maybe he's not busy. Zhang Lan hugged Shen Rou's arm and insisted. Why don't you give me the phone and I'll call? But. What's the matter with that? Do you want to call or not? After a while, Shen Rou finally couldn't stand Zhang Lan's urging and compromised and took out her phone. Old Town Community. Chen Mo was lying on the bedboard. He found that giving employees a day off was a very wrong decision. Otherwise, I should be sitting in a comfortable gaming chair, playing on a high-performance computer. When I am thirsty, my assistant will make me coffee, and even the air conditioner will be adjusted to a very comfortable temperature, but at home, there is no air conditioning, no one makes coffee, and there is no wireless network. Compared with office life, it is like heaven and earth. What to do? I can't just lie at home all day, and there is another day tomorrow. Ring. Just as Chen Mo was thinking about what to do, his phone suddenly rang. He glanced at the caller ID. Shen Rou, why did she call? Did the company have something to do? He answered the phone in confusion. Mr. Chen, I hope I didn't disturb you. Shen Rou's voice came from the phone, but it sounded a little nervous. I didn't disturb you, what's the matter? Chen Mo asked. Then, are you free today? I want to treat you to a meal. Dinner, when? Noon is okay, or in the evening. Then let's do noon. Send me the location later, and then I'll navigate there. Chen Mo didn't think much about it and agreed directly, just because he felt that it was boring to be at home. Just as he was about to hang up the phone, Shen Rou called him. Mr. Chen, I have another classmate. Is that okay? Okay, but it's agreed that you will pay. I will pay. That's fine. After Chen Mo got the confirmation, he finally relaxed. He didn't care much about having a classmate. He was really afraid that he would have to pay the bill after he went there. you have to know that this kind of private life expenses are all spent on personal assets. His personal assets of 2 or 3,000 are not enough to spend, and he has to keep some for emergencies. Then it's settled. I'll send the location later. Shen Rou's excited voice came from the phone. Chapter 53, Mr. Chen, this is fruit beer, no alcohol content. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hang up the phone. Shen Rou looked at Zhang Lan happily. He agreed. How about it? I just said give it a try. Doesn't this mean the invitation is successful? Then what are we going to eat later? Shen Rou suddenly felt a little distressed. With her financial situation, she definitely couldn't afford those big dinners, but if she went to some ordinary restaurants, she was a little worried that Chen Mo wouldn't be used to it. She clearly remembered that the last time Chen Mo had a staff dinner, he went to a star-rated hotel. Why don't you go eat hot pot? The cost is not high and you can afford it. Zhang Lan thought for a while and said, she knew Shen Rou's financial situation, so it was impossible for her to choose a luxurious and expensive restaurant. May I? Shen Rou asked worriedly. What's wrong? Didn't you say that Mr. Chen had a meal with you before? It's definitely not a problem to have hot pot. Zhang Lan put her arm around Shen Rou's shoulders and comforted her. Okay, let's go eat hot pot. After receiving Zhang Lan's confirmation, Shen Rou finally felt relieved. Then let's get dressed and go. Jiangqing Pedestrian Street. In a shopping mall, Zhang Lan held up a long dress and tried it on Shen Rou. This one is good. Go in and change it and let me take a look. Zhang Lan, why don't you change it? I've already changed it several times. It would be bad if you don't buy it. Shen Rou quietly looked at the salesman not far away and whispered beside Zhang Lan. If I ask you to change it, just change it. What are you afraid of? Only after changing it can you know whether it looks good or not and whether it fits properly. When buying clothes, you must try on several pieces before you can choose the one that suits you best. Zhang Lan pushed Shen Rou into the fitting room with an indifferent expression. She often goes to the mall and tries something she likes when she sees it. As for whether to buy it or not, that depends on the economic situation. No one stipulates that after trying on clothes, you must buy them. After a while, Shen Rou put on new clothes and walked out, and walked up to Zhang Lan with some embarrassment. Zhang Lan, is this collar too low? Then what's not exposed yet? Why is it so low? It's just right. It would look even better if it was paired with a necklace. Zhang Lan touched her chin and looked Shen Rou up and down. She nodded with satisfaction. This long dress showed all of Shen Rou's curved figure. Her already beautiful face looked even more stunning under the background of this long dress. The whole person looks innocent but sexy. It also needs a necklace, so I don't want it. Shen Rou heard Zhang Lan's words and waved her hands directly. She had just peeked at the price of this dress in the fitting room, but it cost more than 500 yuan. More than 500 can buy a lot of delicious food for the children in the orphanage. If you buy another necklace, it doesn't necessarily cost much. I just said it would look better with a necklace, and I asked you to buy a necklace again. Zhang Lan saw through Shen Rou's thoughts in an instant, and reluctantly explained. Oh, then this skirt is very expensive. I just checked the price and it costs more than 500. Shen Rou looked at the skirt she was wearing, looking hesitant. She also really likes this dress, but she has never bought such expensive clothes since she was a child. You can have dinner with Chen Mo later. Don't you plan to dress nicer? And there is a special price in the mall today. You can buy it for less than 500. Zhang Lan held her forehead, and she once again appreciated Shen Rou's frugal character. Really? Shen Rou looked at Zhang Lan with surprise. What are you lying to? Zhang Lan rolled her eyes at Shen Rou angrily, and then called the salesman over. Look at this dress and see how much it costs after discounts. Okay, wait a moment. The salesman looked at the price list of the clothes, then walked to the counter, took out his calculator and started calculating. Hello beauty, this dress only costs 465 after discount. Okay, we want this dress. Zhang Lan didn't wait for Shen Rou to speak and spoke directly to the salesman. because she knew that even at a discounted price, Shen Rou would be confused. He simply made the decision for her directly, and she could see that Shen Rou also liked this dress. Now that she has made money in the new company, and the situation at the orphanage has eased, it is time for Shen Rou to think about herself. Okay beauties, do you want me to wrap it up for you, or do you want this beauty to wear it? Just wear it like this, just help me cut the label. Zhang Lan said. Shen Rou watched quietly from the side as Zhang Lan made the decision for her and did not say anything to stop her. She didn't know what was wrong with her. In the past, she wouldn't even have looked at more than 400 clothes. Leave them all. The two of them arrived at the hot pot restaurant they had booked in advance. After waiting for about 10 minutes, Chen Mo walked into the hot pot restaurant on time. Mr. Chen is here. Shen Rou's eyes were always focused on the door of the hot pot restaurant. The moment Chen Mo came in, she noticed it and quickly stood up and waved, but he didn't dare to shout loudly. Chen Mo looked around and soon saw Shen Rou waving. When he saw Shen Rou's outfit, he was a little surprised. Usually, Shen Rou always wore formal clothes at work. This was the first time he saw Shen Rou wearing a skirt. She looked pretty good. This is my college classmate Zhang Lan. This is my boss Chen Mo. When Chen Mo approached, Shen Rou hurriedly introduced the two. Hello. Zhang Lan looked at Chen Mo and extended her hand generously. Hello. Chen Mo shook hands with the other party and took it back. Several people sat down one after another. Chen Mo sat opposite the two women. Mr. Chen, did you drive here? After ordering the dishes, Zhang Lan asked casually. I took a taxi. Chen Mo replied. It's not that he doesn't want to drive, but the car he bought is the company's, and he is not allowed to drive after the holiday. It's better not to drive. Mr. Chen, do you want to have a couple of drinks? Hearing Zhang Lan's words, Shen Rou's body stiffened, and her palms kept slapping Zhang Lan under the table. This girl is crazy, she dares to say anything. I'd better not drink. I can't drink much. Chen Mo shook his head and refused directly. He clearly remembered the scene of him drinking less than one bottle last time. He didn't dare to touch the wine again. Then let's drink fruit wine. It's the same as a drink. It has no alcohol. Xiaoro and I often drink it. Zhang Lan said with some regret. She also wanted to get Chen Mo drunk to see how he drank. The drinking quality shows the character of a person. If the drinking quality is not good, then Shen Rou should be careful. Really no alcohol? It really has no alcohol. To put it bluntly, it's a drink. That's fine. Chen Mo nodded with relief. Since it's a drink, there is no problem. Chapter 54 How can Mr. Chen, such a big boss, live in such an old house? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hurry up and help me hold my right side. A taxi stopped on the roadside. Shen Rou struggled to help Chen Mo out of the car, but Chen Mo's entire body was leaning against her body, making her unable to hold on, so she hurriedly called Zhang Lan over. Here we go, how to leave. Zhang Lan quickly walked to the other side and helped him up. Go that way. Shen Rou took out her phone and glanced at the location sent by Yang Dehai, then pointed in a direction. Tell me, why do you insist on drinking when you have nothing to do? How did I know that he has such a bad drinking capacity? He only has less than 2 bottles of fruit beer. This is the first time I have seen him drink so much with 2 bottles of fruit beer. Zhang Lan looked innocent. She had the idea of making Chen Mo drink too much, but that was not her intention. If I had known this, I might as well have had a drink. It's a pity that those meat rolls were left in the pot. Before taking a few bites, Chen Mo drank too much. Assistant Shen, what's going on? Yang Dehai saw Chen Mo coming over supported by Shen Rou and another girl, and hurriedly went to greet him. He received a call from Shen Rou not long ago, asking about Chen Mo's residence. He didn't take it seriously at the time, thinking he was asking Chen Mo to deal with work matters, so I directly sent Chen Mo's location and building number. Unexpectedly, he went out to buy some food from the market. As soon as he reached the stairs, he saw Chen Mo being supported by Shen Rou and another woman. Brother Yang, Chen Mo drank too much. Shen Rou said when she saw Yang Dehai felt guilty. Let me help you, it's very difficult to go up the stairs. Yang Dehai breathed a sigh of relief when he heard this. It turned out that he had drunk too much, and then he hurried forward and took Chen Mo from the hands of the two. When he arrived on the third floor, he knocked hard on the door. "Old woman, open the door." "What's the matter? Didn't I ask you to buy groceries? Why are you back so soon?" That the door was not opened, but the sound came from inside. "That Chen Mo drank too much, so you can make some sobering soup for him." When the door was opened, Yang Dehai pointed to Chen Mo on his shoulder and said, "Why did Xiao Chen drink too much again? He has a poor drinking capacity, isn't he allowed to drink? You send it back to Xiao Chen first, and I'll send it over after I finish the sobering up soup." Dong Hong glanced at Chen Mo, who was drunk and unconscious, and hurried back into the room. Listening to the ping-pong movement inside, it seemed that he had already started cutting ingredients and making soup. Listening to Dong Hong's words, Shen Rou lowered her head in shame. It was all because of him that Chen Mo got so drunk. "Assistant Shen, please look through Chen Mo's room key." Yang Dehai helped Chen Mo to the fourth floor with difficulty and said to Shen Rou, who was following behind. He was supporting Chen Mo with both hands now, and he couldn't free his hands to find the key. "Ah, okay." Shen Rou responded and hurriedly groped Chen Mo's body, find the key and open the door. Yang Dehai helped Chen Mo to the bed with ease and looked at Shen Rou and said, "Okay, please take care of me. I'll go down and see if the hangover soup is ready." "Okay, Uncle Yang." Shen Rou nodded quickly. After Yang Dehai left, Zhang Lan asked curiously, "Do you know each other?" "Uncle Yang is Chen Mo's driver, and Aunt Dong is the chef in the company canteen." Shen Rou opened her mouth to explain. "What's the relationship between Chen Mo and them?" "He seems very good, and he lives upstairs." "It doesn't seem to matter." Shen Rou shook her head, but she remembered the scene during Uncle Yang's interview, and it didn't look like she knew him at all. As for why we live upstairs and downstairs, it's probably just a coincidence. "Oh." Zhang Lan responded, and then began to visit the house. "Hey, why are you wandering around? This is not our home." Shen Rou moved Zhang Lan around and quickly stopped him. "Aren't I just curious about where the big boss lives? But now it seems very ordinary." Zhang Lan looked at the very old decoration style around him and the seats that had been used for who knows how many years. It shouldn't be. According to Shen Rou's description, Chen Mo should be very rich. Why does he live in such a simple way? Isn't it the same as you? I don't want to give myself flowers. Zhang Lan suddenly looked at Shen Rou and said, "Ah. No way. Chen Mo is usually very willing to spend money on his employees." Shen Rou subconsciously denied that she followed Chen Mo every day. Chen Mo spent no money on his employees every day. "I'm talking about spending money on yourself. Just like you, all the money you earn is spent on the orphanage, but you are reluctant to spend it on yourself. How else can you explain that Chen Mo is so rich, but he still lives in such a simple way?" Zhang Lan held her chin and analyzed it seriously. "Mr. Chen is the same as me." Shen Rou was surprised. She looked at the poorly decorated house and felt that there was nothing wrong with Zhang Lan's analysis. It turns out that Mr. Chen is so great. He lives in a simple house, but he requires the best decoration in the employee dormitories. Looking at Chen Mo lying on the bed, Shen Rou's eyes were full of admiration. "Why are you down?" Dong Hong asked unexpectedly when he saw Yang Dehai coming back. "I asked Assistant Shen to help take care of it. I'll come back to see if the hangover soup is good." Yang Dehai walked into the kitchen and said casually, "You are not caring at all." Dong Hong looked at Yang Dehai, as if he hated iron. "Why am I so careless?" Yang Dehai scratched his head, confused. "Why don't you think about it? Assistant Shen is already working with Xiao Chen, so he's already the first to win. You are asking Assistant Shen to take care of Xiao Chen. What if the two of you develop feelings for each other?" Dong Hong said casually while boiling the soup. "Isn't it nice to have feelings? I think Assistant Shen and Xiao Chen are a good match." Yang Dehai's expression became even more confused. You are so mad at me. I also plan to introduce Yao Yao to Xiaochen. Dong Hong pointed at Yang Dehai with the spoon, thought for a while and finally put the spoon down, and just stretched out her hand to push Yang Dehai aside. Lean to the side, you're in the way. I'm angry. I also want to introduce my daughter to Xiaochen, but no matter how many calls you Yao Yao made, there is nothing I can do if she doesn't come back. You can't organize others to get close to Xiaochen. That would be unfair to Xiaochen. Young people should just let them get along naturally. Whether they can be together or not is their young people's business. Let's not get involved blindly. Yang Dehai smiled flatteringly and spoke to persuade. When Dong Hong heard this, he rolled his eyes at Yang Dehai angrily. You still say it's fair. When you were chasing me, you secretly beat up other suitors with your men. Why, that's fair. Chapter 55 Going to the Orphanage, the Other Side of Shen Rou. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You know this. Yang Dehai paused and smiled awkwardly. I know, the person you beat found me secretly and complained to me. I still beat you lightly, but I still dare to find you. Yang Dehai snorted coldly, and then looked at Dong Hong curiously. You already know this, why did you choose me in the end? I won't tell you. Just tell me. You really want to know? I just knew you beat him up, so I decided to choose you. At that time, I thought you were very manly and wilted. As Dong Hong spoke, she lowered her head in embarrassment. He, if I had known, I would have beaten him earlier. Yang Dehai looked at Dong Hong and giggled. Silly. Dong Hong rolled her eyes at him and continued to make soup. Before long, the hangover soup had already been boiled and Yang Dehai brought it to him. Although she said she couldn't let Shen Rou take care of Chen Mo, she couldn't do it if she really wanted to. Zhang Lan, don't you have to go to work tomorrow? I'll leave this place to you. You can go back and rest. After feeding Chen Mo the hangover soup, Shen Rou stood up and said to Zhang Lan. Can you do it alone? If you can't, I can ask for leave. Zhang Lan said worriedly. There's nothing wrong with this, just go back first. Well, since you're driving me away like this, I won't disturb your world. Zhang Lan showed a sad expression. You're looking for a fight, right? Shen Rou pretended to hit someone, and Zhang Lan turned around and ran out of the house. Seeing Zhang Lan leave, Shen Rou returned to the room helplessly. He moved a chair and sat beside Chen Mo's bed. Early morning, Chen Mo rubbed his swollen head and stood up slowly. Just halfway through sitting up, I felt something was pressing down on the quilt. Turning his head to look at the place where he was pressed, he found Shen Rou sleeping beside his bed. Why is she here? Chen Mo looked confused, but he quickly remembered the scene of eating hot pot yesterday. I drank too much fruit beer, doesn't that mean I don't have a degree? Sure enough, the woman's words cannot be believed, Chen Mo secretly complained, but he couldn't blame them entirely. He felt that the fruit beer was quite delicious, so he couldn't help but drink more. You're awake. Shen Rou felt the movement, rubbed her eyes, and looked at Chen Mo with surprise. Chen Mo nodded, looked at Shen Rou and thanked her softly. Well, thank you for looking after me for one night. Looking at the way the other person was sleeping next to the bed, it was obvious that he had been watching him here last night. It's okay, it's all my fault, I shouldn't have let you drink. Zhang Lan didn't do it on purpose. Shen Rou quickly waved her hand and said, Dong dong dong. Chen Mo wanted to say something else, but there was a knock on the door. I'll open the door. Shen Rou heard the knock on the door and ran out first. You must be Sister Shen. Mom made some breakfast and asked me to deliver it. Shen Rou opened the door and saw a little girl holding a bag in her hand and saying in a sweet voice, that looks very cute. Who is your mother? My mother's name is Dong Hong, and she lives downstairs. Yang Duo pointed downstairs and said. Hearing this, Shen Rou finally knew who had brought breakfast. Seeing Yang Duo's cute look, Shen Rou couldn't help but think of the children in the orphanage, and couldn't help but reach out and rub her little head. Thank you. What's your name? My name is Yang Duo. Sister, you can take your breakfast. I'm going back. After Yang Duo finished speaking, she handed the pocket in her hand to Shen Rou and ran downstairs quickly. Breakfast delivered by Duo. Chen Mo walked to the living room and looked at Shen Rou walking back with a bag, and knew who sent it. Since Yang Dehai and his wife entered the company, he has basically never gone out to have breakfast. Yang Duo almost always brings it to him. Yes. Shen Rou nodded. Put it on the table and eat together. Chen Mo took the bag from Shen Rou's hand and placed the breakfast items on the table one by one. Looking at the amount of food today, it was obvious that there was too much. By the way, you didn't get a good rest last night, so go back to the house and take a rest. Chen Mo was eating breakfast and suddenly asked. No, I have something else to do today. Shen Rou shook her head. She planned to visit the orphanage today, and she hadn't even bought the children's gifts yet. Need help? Chen Mo asked casually. Shen Rou was stunned for a moment when she heard this. Thinking of buying a gift for her child, it seemed that she really needed help carrying it. Then he spoke carefully. I'm going to visit the children in the orphanage. I need to buy some gifts. I may need help carrying them. Of course, if you are busy, you don't need to help. Okay, let's go there together later. Chen Mo simply nodded in agreement. Since he had nothing to do, he just went out for a walk. He might come across some place where he could spend money. Is it really not going to delay you? Shen Rou confirmed again. I don't have anything to do today, it's fine. Chen Mo shook his head. That's good. Shen Rou felt relieved and happily ate breakfast. After breakfast, the two simply packed up the tableware and left directly. Jiangqing City, Red Heart Orphanage. A taxi slowly stopped at the entrance of the orphanage. Chen Mo got out of the car and moved the gifts he bought from the back seat and trunk one by one. I'm here to help. Shen Rou also rushed over to help. Soon, a mountain of gifts was moved to the ground. Chen Mo straightened up and looked at the orphanage carefully. I saw a very shabby plaque across the door of the orphanage. The words Red Heart Orphanage were clearly visible, but the paint on it had long since disappeared. The courtyard playground is a very simple dirt floor, with several very old recreational facilities inside, which all look to be old. The orphanage house only has 3 floors, and its appearance is very shabby. You can see signs of peeling off the walls in many places. If Shen Rou hadn't brought him here, he would have thought that this orphanage had become obsolete when he passed by. You grew up here. Chen Mo turned to look at Shen Rou. Shen Rou told him a lot about the orphanage along the way. Yes. Shen Rou nodded, looking at the orphanage seriously, with a smile on her lips. Every time I come back here, I feel like I'm back home. Didn't have to wait long. A group of children suddenly rushed out of the building and ran straight to the door. Chapter 56. When I grow up, I will also work in my brother's company. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sister Shen. Sister Shen. A group of children ran and shouted. He quickly rushed to the gate and surrounded Shen Rou. Sister Shen, you haven't looked at us for a long time. Sister Shen, I miss you so much. Sister has been busy recently. Look what she bought you today. Shen Rou looked at the children surrounding her and gently led the children to the small mountain of gifts. Wow! So many gifts. Sister Shen, did you buy all this for us? A group of children surrounded the small mountain of gifts, looking left and right, their little eyes full of excitement, but even though they were excited, none of the children picked up the gifts without permission. Xiaoro, come back as soon as you come back. Why did you buy so many things? It costs so much. Sudden, an old woman came over and looked at Shen Rou with a reproachful look on her face. Grandma Wu, haven't you come to see them for a long time? Besides, these things are just gadgets and don't cost much. Shen Rou looked at the old lady who came out, ran over quickly, hugged her arm and said affectionately. You, the old lady sighed helplessly. You little brats, stop looking around and not helping to carry things in. Oh, moving the gifts. I'm going to lift the biggest one. I can lift 3 at once. The group of children heard the grandmother's words and rushed to carry the gifts in. Chen Mo wanted to go up and help, but he didn't intervene. Xiaoro, I don't want to introduce you to this person. When the children entered the orphanage, the old woman's eyes fell on Chen Mo and looked up and down. Grandma Wu, this Chen Mo is also my boss. This is Grandma Wu, I said it in the car. Shen Rou came to the center of the two people and introduced them respectively. You are Xiaorou's boss. Thank you for taking care of him during this time. Grandma Wu said with a grateful face. She knew that Shen Rou had entered a new company and the treatment was very good. At this time, I heard that the young man in front of me was the boss of that company, and I quickly thanked him. Grandma Wu, where are you talking? Shen Rou is very capable in the company, and the company's development depends on her. Chen Mo shook his head and said modestly. Shen Rou's face turned red as she listened. Her day's work was only the most basic work, and any experienced assistant could probably do it. She is indeed learning every day, but there is still a long way to go before she can reach those elite assistants. It's not as good as Chen Mo said. Grandma Wu didn't understand this matter. She smiled happily when she heard Chen Mo's compliment, said with some pride. Xiaorou has been smart since she was a child. She is the first college student in the orphanage. Okay, don't stand here anymore, come into the house quickly. You stay with the children first, and I'll prepare lunch. Entering the orphanage building, Grandma Wu took the two of them to a classroom, then turned and walked out. Grandma Wu, I'm going to help you. Hearing this, Shen Rou hurriedly chased after him. Why do you want to attack him? Are you going to leave him alone in the classroom with those children? Grandma Wu said angrily and gestured to Chen Mo in the classroom with her eyes. Grandma Wu, are you busy? When you are not here, I am not too busy. I just have 2 more mouths. Go back quickly. Grandma Wu pushed Chen Rou back to the classroom impatiently. Aren't you going to help? Chen Mo looked at Shen Rou who came back and asked doubtfully. Oh, Grandma Wu said she was too busy and didn't need me. Shen Rou said while looking at the children playing in the room. Sister Shen, who is this big brother? Sudden, a little girl about 5 or 6 years old ran over and looked at Chen Mo curiously. This is Brother Chen, my sister's boss. Shen Rou looked at the little girl running over, squatted down and whispered. The little girl bit her finger and spoke in confusion. What's the boss? The boss is the one who pays my sister's salary. Shen Rou rubbed the little girl's head and explained patiently. Oh, is that so? Can Brother Chen also be Yuer's boss? The little girl raised her head and looked at Chen Mo expectantly. Chen Mo felt amused when he saw this, squatted down, looked at the little girl and asked with a smile. May I have your name? My name is Dong Yuer, brother, you can call me Yuer. Then can you tell me why you want me to be your boss? Because my brother is Yuer's boss, I can pay Yuer's salary, so Yuer can buy gifts for my younger siblings. Dong Yuer said happily. Yuer is still young and needs to study hard. After graduating from college, Yuer can come to my brother's company, okay? Chen Mo smiled when he heard this. He found that these children were quite cute. Brother, let's hook up. After I graduate from college, you will be my boss. The little girl stretched out her little hand and made a hook gesture. When Chen Mo saw this, he also stretched out his hand and hooked his 2 little fingers together. Hang yourself on a hook and you won't be allowed to change for 100 years. Whoever changes will be a puppy. Stamp. The 2 thumbs pressed together. Shen Rou watched this scene quietly from the side, the corners of her mouth curled up unconsciously. She didn't expect that Chen Mo would have such a side. The 2 played with the children in the classroom for a while and then left the classroom. I didn't expect you to play with the child. Walking in the corridor, Shen Rou looked at Chen Mo with a strange expression, thinking of the way Chen Mo played with his children just now. He didn't look like a boss at all. They're quite cute. Chen Mo said with a smile. Of course there is one more thing that only he knows. Before traveling to this world, he was also an orphan, so seeing the appearance of these children, he couldn't help but think of himself at that time. Let me take you to visit the orphanage. Shen Rou thought for a while and suddenly said. In this way, the 2 of them started hanging out in the orphanage. Finally, I walked to the 3rd floor and stopped. The children's dormitory is on the 3rd floor. I'll take you in and take a look. As Shen Rou said that, she had already opened a dormitory door and walked in. Chen Mo followed behind and looked at the layout inside. I saw that the layout inside the house was very simple, with only 2 wooden beds, each. Moreover, the wooden bed was extremely old and some of the legs were broken. Chen Mo frowned at this scene. On the way here, he learned some information about the orphanage from Shen Rou, but he never expected that the orphanage would be so poor. After thinking about it for a while, my consciousness was immersed in the system panel in my mind. He wanted to see if system funds could be used for charity. Chapter 57. Can system funds be used for charity? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Before each settlement, the host can take out 10% of the system funds for charity. It turned out that he could really do charity. Chen Mo looked at the reply given by the system and was delighted, but even if he wanted to do charity, he would have to wait for the next settlement. After all, he had almost spent all the system funds this time. The remaining less than 100,000 yuan, he had already booked the company's team building, and there were only 3 days left before the next settlement. After 3 days, the new system funds would arrive. Wouldn't it be perfect to directly use 10% to support the orphanage? Not only did he do good things, but he could also spend 10% of the system funds. Chen Mo. Chen Mo. Ah, what's wrong? Hearing Shen Rou's call, Chen Mo immediately retracted his consciousness. It's okay, let's go back. Grandma Wu should have cooked. Shen Rou shook her head and walked out of the dormitory. She just saw that Chen Mo seemed to be distracted, so she called him twice. Then the two had lunch here and left the orphanage. Tiandi law firm. That Wu Jingwu leaned on the leather sofa and looked at Tang Qiu opposite with a serious face. Tang Qiu, our firm treats you well, right? Lawyer Wu and others have always taken good care of me. Tang Qiu pushed the frame of the glasses on his nose. Wu Jingwu stood up from the sofa with an angry face and shouted. Since you know we treat you well, why do you want to lose the lawsuit on purpose? Don't say you are not strong enough. We know your strength very well. There is no problem in winning this lawsuit. Lawyer Wu, have you ever thought about how the injured family will live after winning this lawsuit? Tang Qiu stood up and asked without showing any weakness. She went to the hospital to see the family with her own eyes. His wife was taking care of them in the ward day and night, and there were 2 5- or 6-year-old children around her who needed to be taken care of. The hope that could support them to persist was to win the lawsuit and get compensation from the company. He violated the rules and didn't wear a protective rope at all. He deserved it. And even if it was a violation of the rules, the company gave him 100,000 yuan in compensation. What else do you want? That Wu Jingwu slammed the table and glared at Tang Qiu. What do you mean you didn't bring a safety rope? The company didn't prepare any. The safety ropes we have now were newly installed after the accident. Tang Qiu said with disdain. This is what she learned from the injured employees' colleagues. Tang Qiu, you still don't see the facts clearly. The company gave our firm money, so we should do things for them. Take money from others and help them get rid of disasters. Don't you understand this principle? That Wu Jingwu sat back on the sofa. His tone was much calmer, but his face was getting gloomier. Their firm lost a lot of money because of this incident. You can't be without conscience. I, Tang Qiu, never make money against my conscience. Tang Qiu pointed to her chest. She chose the lawyer profession for justice. Now she is asked to make money against her conscience. She can't do it. Okay, you are noble and don't want to make money against your conscience, right? Then please leave my firm. In addition, you deliberately lost the lawsuit this time, causing our firm to suffer heavy losses. Please make up for the losses before leaving. Wu Jingwu leaned forward and said word by word while looking at Tang Qiu in front of him. When did I say that I deliberately lost the lawsuit? I just don't have the ability. Tang Qiu looked at Wu Jingwu as if he was an idiot. Oh, you didn't say it, but our conversation just now was recorded. Don't forget, there are surveillance cameras here. Wu Jingwu pointed his finger and said sarcastically. There is still a long way to go in the future, and you have to be careful about everything. Tang Qiu looked at the surveillance camera above his head, his face darkened, and he knew that he was being calculated by Wu Jingwu. Based on the conversation just now, even if he didn't say that he deliberately lost the lawsuit, it can prove from the side that he is suspected of letting the water, but she never thought that she was an employee here, and the other party would plot against her like this. Thank you for reminding me, which made me realize the dangers of this society again. Tang Qiu glanced at Wu Jingguo lightly, and then turned and left. Monday, today is the 7th day, and I don't know if Fong Chong has made the equipment. Chen Mo sat bored on the gaming chair, and was just thinking about whether to call to ask, when he saw Fong Chong calling first. Mr. Chen, the set of equipment you requested has been made, how to put it on the shelf? Fong Chang's voice came from the phone, sounding very tired. How did you put it on the shelf before? Chen Mo asked. Since he had to ensure that the game would continue to lose money, he naturally couldn't make any changes. In the past, it was obtained by lottery, but after a certain number of draws, the corresponding minimum will be given. If the whole set of equipment is guaranteed to be out, it will cost about a few thousand. Fong Chong said, is that so? If it can be drawn for a few thousand, the opponents don't look like they are short of a few thousand yuan. Chen Mo thought about it, then spoke. It will be released in lottery mode, but the winning rate needs to be adjusted. It should be as low as possible, and the guaranteed number of times will be increased. To guarantee a complete set of equipment, it will cost 100,000 yuan. Also, clearly display the probability table of equipment and the guaranteed number of times on the lottery interface. The more eye-catching, the better. Mr. Chen, isn't 100,000 too expensive? I guess no one will buy it. Fong Chong hesitated to speak. He felt that Mr. Chen didn't seem to want to sell this set of equipment. He also displayed the probability table and the guaranteed number of times in the most eye-catching place. Isn't this telling players that this equipment is very expensive? Don't draw it, I'm afraid no one will draw the equipment. It's okay, just do what I say. Chen Mo confirmed. What he wanted was that no one would buy it. If someone did, he would make money. By the way, when the equipment is put on the shelves, you should also get a set from the game account you gave me, so I can see how it feels. Okay, Mr. Chen, Fong Chong agreed. Also, please inform your employees that the company will hold a team building tomorrow afternoon, and both companies will hold it together. The specific time and place will be notified to you later. Chen Mo suddenly remembered that the team building had not been implemented because of the holiday, but it is just right to hold the team building tomorrow, just in time to use up the system funds, and then the system will settle the day after tomorrow. There will be no accidents this time. Wei Yan has been transferred, and he has been paying attention to the new people in the business department, but there has been no performance. Li Shen, the sixth brother, has been very stable recently. Everything is going in the direction he expected. Chapter 58, The Proud Mr. Chen. The rich man rushed to pay 300,000. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Brother Hao, that boy of yours must not be here. Why haven't you seen that boy for so long? In the guild's chat interface, Jiang Jiu typed and asked. He has taken people around the wild for several times, but he has not found the ID named Xueluo. No need to rush, there's still 1 day left. Let everyone go for a walk in the wild and notify me as soon as you find Xueluo. Chen Song quickly replied in the chat interface. He had nothing to do anyway and didn't mind waiting a little longer. After everything was settled, Chen Mo leaned comfortably on the gaming chair, thinking that there was nothing left to deal with. I directly opened the game Tianlong. Today is the day of revenge, how could I miss it? I don't know if those people are online. Enter the game. That I took a look at the game character and found that the new equipment had been worn on the game character. The appearance of the equipment looks very ordinary, without the various dazzling colors before, but the shape still looks very good. I simply compared the value with the previous equipment, and it was also a lot higher. Yes, with this equipment, you can definitely get back on the field. Chen Mo instantly gained confidence, controlled the game character, and walked straight into the wild. As soon as I walked out of the wild, I found someone walking not far away, and there was no monster spawning. Seeing this scene, Chen Mo understood that the wealthy man should have been online and had people guarding him in various places. At this time, he came to the wild and had been discovered. It was estimated that a group of people would find him soon. Boy, you are finally here. My brother Hao has been waiting for you for a long time. Sure enough, it didn't take long for a group of people to gather around. Chen Mo was pulled into the chat room again. An ID named Lousy Jojo typed in the chat room. Chen Mo looked at this ID and smiled. Isn't this the person he killed last time? However, he didn't think about typing or exchanging words, so he just typed a sentence and sent it back. If you want to fight, then fight, no nonsense. Boy, you are very crazy. It seems that I didn't defeat you last time. I've been here for a long time, he typed again, and then the chat room was disbanded. Immediately afterwards, the people surrounding him also began to take action, and each one began to control the game characters and kill towards him. When Chen Mo saw this, he also controlled the game character to rush forward, and slashed directly at the person who rushed forward the fastest. A flash of light flashed. Immediately afterwards, the person died directly, kill instantly with one knife. Chen Mo looked at the weapon in his hand. It had such strong attack power, and then rushed directly into the crowd. This rush is like a wolf among the sheep, and it is a child with one knife, so cool. This is the correct way to play the game. Before long, no enemies can be seen in the entire game interface. You bunch of little scumbags, stop playing this game. Chen Mo also started a chat group, and after a while he went offline. He will go to the cafeteria later to take a look. He heard that the decoration there is almost at the end, and the restaurant for the company team building has not been booked yet. Although Shen Rou could handle all of this, in order to better spend all the remaining system funds, he had no choice but to do it himself. Brother Hao, there is definitely something wrong with that guy's equipment just now. His attack power can kill us instantly. I guess he must have used a plugin. Within the game, Jiang Jiu expressed his opinion in the trade union chat. During the battle just now, my equipment was instantly destroyed. This is really abnormal. He remembered that the opponent couldn't kill him instantly last time. It's a rubbish game, and I don't care if someone uses cheats. Someone else typed in the union's chat group. Chen Song watched the conversation in the chat room and remained silent. He still believed in the remarks about plugins. After all, his equipment could be said to be the best in this game, but even his top-notch equipment could only support a few attacks before dying. It seems that this game is completely hopeless. He still has some feelings for this game. He has been playing it since the game was launched and established a guild for this purpose. Even though there are very few people online in the game now, he still occasionally enters the game to play. When someone provoked him last week, he was not angry. Instead, he found it very interesting, as if he had returned to the scene when he was at the peak of his game, when he was having a fight with someone. But now there are cheats in this game, which makes him very disappointed. You know, he hates cheats in games the most. It seems it's time to uninstall this game. Chen Song murmured to himself. Suddenly the chat room dialog box flickered, and a union member sent a screenshot. I saw it, and that person didn't use a plug-in, he used the newly released equipment in the game. Chen Song curiously clicked on the picture above and found that it was a numerical introduction to a set of equipment. He looked at the attack power and defense numbers on it. If that person was wearing this kind of equipment, he could indeed be killed with just a few attacks. It's true. I went to the game mall to see it, and there is indeed this set of equipment. I've seen it too, but this set of equipment is too expensive. The guaranteed price is 100,000 yuan. Is the planner going to run away? Why doesn't he go and grab the money for a guaranteed price of 100,000 yuan? You can't say that. They have clearly written the price and probability of the guaranteed price. It's up to you to draw or not. Looking at the conversations in the chat room, Chen Song curiously clicked into the game mall. He soon found new equipment, which was still the same as before, drawn by lottery. However, the probability of the equipment coming out this time was very low, and the guaranteed price was 100,000 yuan. Chen Song looked at the equipment in the prize pool and smiled slightly. Since that person didn't use a plug-in, but used the new equipment in the game, it would be interesting. Are you competing with me, Chen Song, for equipment? Then I'll play with you. It's just 100,000 yuan, which is nothing to him. Chen Song didn't even think about it, and directly recharged 300,000 yuan into the game. How could one set be enough? He wanted 3 sets. After recharging, he directly posted a message in the union chat room. Let's get started. In the chat room, all the union members showed excitement when they saw these 2 words, because they knew that as long as Brother Hao sent these 2 words, it meant that Brother Hao was going to draw equipment. This was also what they were looking forward to the most, because Brother Hao would not only draw 1 set of equipment each time, and the extra ones would be drawn from the lucky ones among them. Brother Hao, you are awesome. Brother Hao, you are generous. Chapter 59 Team Building Begins, Went to the Wrong Restaurant. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sangxue Game. Director Wei, you just joined the company, you should announce this news, and you can take this opportunity to get to know the employees and build good relationships. In the office, Fong Chang looked at Wei Yan and spoke slowly. He had just received the location and time of the team building sent by Mr. Chen, and after thinking about it, he decided to let Wei Yan do this announcement. After all, the company's team building is also a good thing. If Wei Yan does it, he can at least get some goodwill from the employees. This will also allow him to integrate into the company faster. Thank you, Manager Fong. Wei Yan thanked him. After running the business for so many years, he could naturally see Fong Chang's intention. What are you thanking? Mr. Chen treats us well. As his employees, we naturally have to work together to create benefits for the company. Fong Chang waved his hand and didn't care. Manager Fong is right, we should work together. The 2 smiled at each other. Wei Yan got up and walked out. Employee studio. Wei Yan slowly approached and clapped his hands. Sorry to waste your time. I have something to announce. All employees stopped their work and looked at the office director who had parachuted into the company. They didn't know what to announce. Wei Yan looked at the curious employees and spoke softly. Tomorrow afternoon, the company will hold a team-building activity. The detailed time and location will be sent to everyone's work group later. As Wei Yan's voice fell, there was an uproar in the studio. The company is actually preparing for a team-building activity. This is incredible. Some old employees showed incredible expressions. They have been working in this company for several years. It is very good not to work overtime. They dare not even think about team building. Unexpectedly, after the new boss took over this game company, they directly replaced their tables and chairs with new ones. They secretly checked the price of these tables and chairs. It cost more than 7,000 yuan for a set. No wonder it was so comfortable to sit. Not long after the tables and chairs were replaced, the company announced that it would hold a team-building activity. This new boss is too good. Everyone be quiet for a while. Wei Yan gestured with his hand, and waited until the studio was quiet again before continuing to speak. This team building will be carried out with employees from another company of Mr. Chen. You can communicate with each other at that time. Okay. Everyone pay attention to the news in the group later. A burst of applause suddenly rang out. Wei Yan smiled and left the employee studio. The next day, at noon, a bus stopped at the door of the company. Everyone get on the bus, don't squeeze, there are seats. Li Shen stood at the door of the company and directed the employees to get on the bus one by one. When all the people got on the bus, Li Shen came to Chen Mo's side. Mr. Chen, everyone is here, shall we set off? Yes, let's go. Chen Mo looked at the bus and nodded. Considering that the team building may be carried out until very late, and the company's location is a bit remote, it will be very inconvenient to come back at night, so he directly chartered a bus. It just happened to spend part of the system funds and provide some convenience to employees, and he also got some inspiration from this. The company's location is already remote, and it is very inconvenient for employees to show up at ordinary times. If he could get a shuttle bus to go back and forth between the city and the company, it would be much more convenient for the employees. The price of a large bus is about 1 million, and it needs to be equipped with a skilled driver, which can cost one person's salary. The next system fund did not arrive, so he found another way to spend money. I am so smart. Xinyu Restaurant, all employees are present and come to the banquet hall on the second floor. There are about 60 employees from the 2 companies in total, and the ordinary private rooms can no longer accommodate them. Chen Mo simply booked the private room on the second floor. Anyway, it doesn't hurt to spend the system money. Oh my God, Mr. Chen is even more generous this time. He has booked the entire second floor. Mr. Chen is getting more and more generous. Didn't you see that he even arranged a car for us this time? Mr. Chen's employees are so happy. Didn't they say that there would be employees from another company to join the team building this time? They should be the ones over there. The employee who participated in the team building last time said with emotion as he looked at the banquet hall on the second floor. Everyone, find a place to do it. And the people working over there are employees from another company of Mr. Chen. You can go over there and have more exchanges. In the future, the two companies will hold activities together. There are also single boys and girls. These are all opportunities. Don't waste them. Li Shen looked at the employees of the garment factory and mobilized them loudly. After all, in this garment factory, men account for the majority, and although the company over there is also mostly men, there are still some girls, so for those who want to get out of singlehood, this team building is a good opportunity. It is estimated that Mr. Chen wants the two companies to hold team building together. And he probably has this idea. As Li Shen's voice fell, some single young male employees quickly walked towards the employees of Tsangshui Games. They were extremely anxious, fearing that they would not even be able to drink soup if they arrived too late. Li Shen looked at this scene and prepared to join in the fun. After all, he was also single, who doesn't like sweet love. Excuse me, is this the company team building of Changfeng Clothing? That when he was about to go over, a gentle girl came from the side. Li Shen looked over and saw two girls standing beside him looking at him. The two girls were about 1.6 meters tall and had delicate looks. They were not beauties, but they were very attractive. Oh, you are employees of Tsangshui Games, right? Li Shen suddenly realized that he had never seen these two girls before, so they must be employees of Tsangshui Games. Is this the company team building of Tsangshui Games? Sorry, we went the wrong way. Zhao Lingling looked a little embarrassed when she heard this. We went the wrong way. She hurriedly apologized and pulled Zhou Chen beside her away. She muttered softly as she walked. Didn't you say it was here? How did we go the wrong way? Zhou Chen also looked around in confusion and spoke in confusion. That's right, Assistant Shen told me the address is here, and we asked the waiter downstairs. It's definitely here. Zhou Chen looked at the surrounding environment with a confused look on his face. It was Xingyu Restaurant. How could it be wrong? Did we go to the wrong floor? This is the third floor instead of the second floor. Li Shen listened to the conversation between the two and felt something was wrong. Chapter 60. The cost of this restaurant is a bit low. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wait a moment. Li Shen hurriedly stepped forward to stop the two of them. Are you okay? Zhao Lingling looked at Li Shen in confusion, wondering what this man was asking them to do. Are you employees of Changfeng Garment? Li Shen looked at the two women and asked tentatively. The other party just asked if this was team building for Changfeng Garment Company. That's right, the team building of Tsangshui Games is the team building of Changfeng Clothing. How could I go wrong? And judging from what the other party said when they left, it was Assistant Shen who asked them to come over. Could it be that they are new employees of the company? Yes, then do you know where the team building location of Changfeng Clothing is? Zhao Lingling's eyes lit up when she heard Li Shen's question. Well, this is the company team building of Changfeng Garment. You are not in the wrong place. Did we find something wrong? Then why did you just say that this is Tsangshui Game? Zhao Lingling looked at Li Shen with unkind eyes. This person seemed quite honest, but he just deceived them. Li Shen scratched his head in embarrassment and explained. This is not only team building for Changfeng Clothing, but also team building for Tsangshui Games. Don't you know that Mr. Chen now has two companies, one is Changfeng Clothing and the other is Tsangshui Games. Today, the two companies are doing team building together. At this time, Zhou Chen on the side heard Li Shen's explanation and spoke weakly. Assistant Shen seemed to have said that there was another company, but I forgot about it. Now that I think about it, it seems that it's called Shui. So we're not looking in the wrong place. When Zhao Lingling heard this, there was a black line on her forehead, and she glared at Li Shen fiercely. I almost made a big mistake because of these two guys. You two must be new here. I have never seen you two in the company, so I just thought you were employees of Tsangshui Games. Li Shen opened his mouth to explain. No, we have been in the company for a month. We are the company's accounting and finance staff. Since the company has no free workstations, we have been working from home. You haven't seen us, so it's normal. Zhao Lingling brushed her hair from her ears. She still feels that her job is a bit dreamy. She works from home and also provides housing subsidies and food subsidies. Her current salary, including subsidies, is more than 8,000 yuan. You must know that for the same position in other companies, her salary was less than 5,000 yuan, but now it is nearly 3,000 yuan more. Moreover, it was actually changed to a weekend system 2 days ago. More importantly, her salary was paid in advance. Just 2 days ago, her second month's salary was already credited to her salary card. This dispelled whatever doubt she had in her mind. That's it. You two, hurry up and take your seats inside. Mr. Chen will be here soon. Li Shen understood. At the entrance of Xingyu restaurant, a commercial vehicle stopped slowly. Chen Mo and Shen Rou got off the car together and walked into the restaurant. As soon as I entered the banquet hall on the second floor, I saw all the employees standing up neatly and there was warm applause. Mr. Chen, your position is over there. Wei Yan came over at the right time and took the lead towards a main table directly in front. Chen Mo nodded when he saw this and followed Wei Yan. Since Wei Yan was transferred to Tsangshui Games, the clothing factory has not had so many orders, and there is no need to worry about this guy doing things behind his back every day. He had been feeling much more comfortable these past few days. Wei Yan, I'm still getting used to the new environment recently. Mr. Chen, the new company is very good. I will work hard. Wei Yan was moved when he heard Chen Mo's concern. These days, she has spent every day studying, and has begun to have a certain basic understanding of the game industry. He believes that as long as he continues to persevere, he will be able to create better value for the company. Well, just get used to it. Chen Mo nodded. Hello, Mr. Chen. That when they came to their seats, Fang Chang, Li Shen and other key members of the company stood up to say hello. Sit down, everyone, don't be too restrained, let me eat today. Before long, the restaurant waiter started pushing the dining cart in. Everyone also started to eat. Lobster, abalone, caviar, these things are not cheap. I feel like the cuisine this time is even tougher than last time. What a feeling, it's obviously better than the last time. Many employees looked at the dishes on the table with shocked expressions. Chen Mo quietly ate the lobster in the bowl. Such a good thing, with his personal assets of several thousand, he could not afford to eat it. Only through the light of the company can we make a living. But when he was eating deliciously, he saw Li Shen suddenly stood up and shouted loudly. Everyone, stop for a moment. Today, Mr. Chen is organizing a team building for everyone. Do you want Mr. Chen to say a few words? Immediately afterwards, the entire banquet hall sounded a chorus of shouts. Mr. Chen, please tell me a few words. Mr. Chen, please tell me a few words. Chen Mo took a deep look at Li Shen. This old man was a bit dishonest, however, many employees asked, so he had to put down the lobster in his hand and stood up to face the many employees. Today's team building is mainly for everyone to relax, so don't be restrained, eat as much as you want. Okay, that's all. Only by eating more can he spend more money. Today's consumption target is not low. Whether the system funds can be spent depends on how much these people eat. Clap, clap, clap. A round of applause rang out in the banquet hall. Our CEO Chen is different. It's just a team-building dinner, and he doesn't talk about anything else. Yes, if it were other bosses, they would probably talk for half an hour before stopping. As time passed, all the employees began to relax, and those who loved wine had already started drinking. Chen Mo felt that he had eaten almost enough, so he got up and went downstairs to see if the consumption this time had reached his expectations. Shen Rou saw this and hurried to follow. Mr. Chen, the total consumption is now 72,000, but last time, I personally upgraded you to a VIP user of the company, and you can enjoy a 10% discount. After rounding off the decimals, the current bill consumption is 64,000. What do you think? The restaurant manager respectfully handed the bill to Chen Mo. This is a big customer, and he must be treated well. Chen Mo frowned when he heard it. He didn't expect that the other party would upgrade him to a VIP user. In this way, he would spend several thousand less, but after thinking about it, it's just like that. Anyway, this is nothing more than letting employees eat more. He opened the menu casually and quickly clicked on it. This, and this.